followed D&D history for long, you're probably familiar with this. Caverns of Thracia by Janelle Jacquays and Judges Guild 1979. This is the dungeon adventure module that has become the test by which all dungeon design is measured today. We're glad that you're joining us for this adventure. Like, subscribe, and share. They have been waiting for over 1,000 years. The things that lurk beneath the waters, skulk in the darkness, and lie hungrily in the dank crypts have been patient. All around them, men and monsters bicker for the above ground. None have been bold enough to traverse the dark cavern's depths, afraid, or perhaps wise enough, to leave the forgotten vaults and hidden passages alone. And still they wait, undisturbed. For you, an adventurer, are willing to brave those depths. Welcome back to Lioness. As usual, we begin the night on the evening of Einar, the 16th of Darkentide. And you are currently in the southern village on the peninsula of Angemir in the far northeastern isle of the fallen 12 kingdoms of what was once known as Old Lioness. That is the island of Telgran. And you have all traveled here from Albion. I didn't fix the bad weather. It is not bad weather. I will fix that. It is, however, evening time here. And the southernmost village in the mountains south of Angemir is known as 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖊𝖗. 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖊𝖗 used to be a lumber camp, and it traded with villages in the salty coastal wastes that exist between the mountains and the far northern tip of Angemir, where the harbor city took all of the merchant traffic from Albion. You are all from Albion, what we know as England. And you have traveled here because you have heard of uncovered ruins following a devastating war that has scoured these lands. In the chaos, you hope to sneak into the ruins and find artifacts and magical treasures and gold. And on the 16th of Einar, it is actually strangely clement outside in the night. The night sky is clear. The stars shine brightly overhead. The moon is about 2/3 full. And you have returned to the Bloody Bowl Tavern, where I believe we have some things to talk about. Being all from Albion, you have all met and know each other. In fact, you would die for each other. Though you are all very different. Thieves among clerics, etc. You have your reasons, of which there are 3, even though they can be secret. You either want something magical, you want to slay evil beings for your gods, or you want money. And one of those 3 reasons binds you to an agreement to risk your lives together. You have all met Nissa, whether you knew her from before, or you have since met her and she's joined. And all of you would work together and die for each other. I'll describe what you can see in the tavern, Hans, and then I'll hand it over to you, okay? In the tavern this evening, as I mentioned before, this is a village, no city, like Erekbrania or Thisium to the north, or formerly 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗 in its glory. This is a mere village, though traffic that has been unable to make it to port because of the chaos vessel pirate-infested waters sometimes makes landfall east of here. And for that reason, the village of 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖊𝖗 has started to see strange peoples. They are from all manner of lands and all sorts of peoples. Some of them clearly look like your sort. Desperate, crazy, and eyes. They look like they would go into hell for money. You see 4 such people here. Common sellswords. You also see people establishing means of making profit off the influx of people and the collapse of civil society near 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖃𝖗. One of whom you know. She seems to have set up something of a trade here. This is 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗𝖗, the merchant. Remind me, the last time we played, or I think actually 2 times ago, if any of you were here then, 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖃𝖗 died. Did she not? I believe so. Pretty sure. I'm going to say she did. Okay. As a result, you don't have the best reputation with 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗𝖗. Although, if you did, you know that she pays a lot of money for artifacts that are down below. Last time, something very strange happened, other than half the people of your number being murdered by mutant beast peoples. You did find a way down into the sunken ruins of Thracia. And just as you made it in, there were people in there. And by people, I mean human people. They worship some sort of unknown god in these lands, unknown to these lands. You would know it as the god of death, sometimes known as, what names does he go by? Dawn, Satan, what else? You've heard the names. And so, they call him the Dark One. And 2 of your numbers stayed behind. One of those tonight is not here to adventure with you. One of them is. Both of them returned within the week. When you left Thracia, 2 of the robed people that live in the ruins came with you as liaisons. And they left once Sparrow and what was his name? The other fellow, 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖃𝖗. Once they both returned, the 2 liaisons also departed your service. So, it's only been about a day or so, and it's the day before you can decide to return on your next expedition to Thracia. Sparrow knows a lot about what is happening down there. And with that, I turn it over to Hans. Oh, well, actually, one last thing of importance. You did agree to rendezvous with these dark-robed people. That would happen tomorrow, which is why you gathered this evening. I will also say that Sparrow, when you left the company of them down below, they gave you instructions on how to potentially make it in safely and meet with them. All right. Zach, what do you all do the evening before your adventure?
So I have one first question, which is, have the tattoos that we got on the hands, do they seem to have done anything or if anybody in the village has seen them, do they seem to have caused any stir or made us feel weird, or has there been any effect?
A counter question. Has anybody shown anybody their tattoos? That is to say...
Hans has not purposefully shown anybody.
Not yet.
Not yet? Alright. What about Sparrow?
Sparrow has certainly not shown the tattoo to anyone.
If you hide the tattoos, which you're able to successfully do, no one seems the wiser. You have seemingly no ill effects, but it also doesn't seem to go away, no matter how much you scrub at it.
So we don't have any ill effects.
Yet.
Well, let's everybody else stare real hard at Sparrow and ask him what happened down there.
Well, perhaps to give you a little rundown of what I ascertained from my time with them. It seems that the first floor is a bit of a contested territory, as it were, and the cult, they're a cult of Thanatos, and they are using ill rites to raise the dead to battle against the beastmen. And there seems to be a constant struggle down there between the two forces.
So, Sparrow, you were treated well. Did you feel like they were honest? And at least insofar as they're going to be honest with us, did they didn't seem to be in mind to harm us, I assume, right?
I think not especially, but I think they have faith that we might still join them, which I do not believe we plan to do, but I do think that there could be value in allying with them against the beastmen.
Well, Hans has no particular love for beastmen, that's for sure, and the beastmen can't be reasoned with. The beastmen, to me at least, seem, if not necessarily, I think the beastmen are the bigger threat. So I guess the big question to go around the table is, what exactly do we want to do? We have a date to rendezvous with these guys. That's tomorrow. If we go back, they're going to want an answer as to whether we're going to join them. How were our interactions on the surface with the two guys that came with us?
They were weird.
Yeah.
Silent, creepy. Shortly after arriving, they began going around town and looking at things. You see them whisper back and forth. As creepy as they could be, they were that.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely don't love that. I think that my vote would be to go along to get along and try to at least help them deal with the beastmen, see if they will mount some kind of incursion against the beastmen, which we could support, but hopefully not have to fight head to head in. And maybe they kill the beastmen, and maybe the beastmen kind of whittle down their numbers somewhat, and we take it from there. They're weakened, and the beastmen are weakened, if not gone. So the beastmen, to me, present the biggest problem because they control the actual entrance, or at least the one that we know about. They are going to be a problem most likely every time we go there. Whereas, we can at least get down to the first level. And if the cultists don't want to kill us immediately, I mean, that's pretty good dungeoneering capital right there. If we've got a faction that at least doesn't hate us, I would say we should probably try to not promise too much, but, try to maybe maintain a little bit of neutrality with them. What does everybody else think?
Beastmen riders make for better looting at the start anyhow. Or say we cut our teeth on them before cutting up them cultists, we do.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Is there any risk in eliminating... Oh,
No, please go ahead.
Is there any risk in eliminating the beastmen and allowing the cultists to take over that entrance? Is that a problem for us in any way?
Well, perhaps I can tell you a bit about their aims. There are about a couple dozen of them, with a high priest and 2 acolytes. The priest and the acolytes seem to be the ones capable of raising the dead, and the cult is dedicated to a shrine on the first floor in the eastern section. I couldn't lead you back there, but apparently no one is currently worthy to enter the shrine, and they believe that their leader is asleep inside of it, and that he will awaken and bring them salvation.
I have 2 things also. One is Sparrow, something... they offer you basically an entrance. They tell you that if you take the southern approach like you did, the small outbuilding among the trees before you get to the main building actually has a secret entrance down so that you can avoid the beast people. That's how they come in and out. That's how they propose the rendezvous, because they propose it underground. The second thing is, does anybody speak Thracian? I can't remember if anybody was there for the first session. No. Okay.
I don't.
I don't.
I don't either.
Can't even speak English properly, I can't.
No, right, me either. Well, if that, so it sounds to me like the consensus is we want to at least go talk to him.
Yes.
I like having the other entrance. That's good. I would still get a lot of personal satisfaction out of taking out the beastmen. I don't know how valuable that would be as far as treasure. I would be surprised if the beast people have too much in the way of treasure. They're not even properly in the underworld, and they don't really seem, unless they're sitting on a hoard of something that they don't know what it is. I'm not sure how valuable it would be to... I mean, I definitely think engaging with them directly in combat would be foolish. My 4 hit points don't like that idea at all. But yeah, does everybody think go and see the cultists and kind of hear them out and hear what they have to say?
Yeah.
Suppose there's not much choice in it.
I agree. Something else to add is that if they are to be believed, the deeper down we go, the more and more beastmen there will be, because they claim that the beastmen rule the underworld. These might only be a few of the beastmen on the surface. There could be many more below as we go down.
Well, I may have misapprehended the beast people situation as like I guess that wasn't really very smart, because I was thinking maybe they were just in the wilderness and they were kind of a surface level thing. But if these guys want to wage war against the beastmen, if the beast people have a controlling interest in the actual caverns themselves, then yeah, we definitely are going to want to... I mean, with the beastmen, we can't really ally with the beast people. We had one charmed last time, and there wasn't really any, there was no conversation to be had. They weren't intelligent. So I would presume that they're probably just going to be mindlessly aggressive.
Mm-hmm. They act on instinct and hunger.
Not far off from us.
So does it seem likely then the beastmen don't have any other goal than to eat and expand?
That would be my guess. I mean, from what we saw of them last time, they attacked. They didn't even try to sniff us out and see what kind of party we were, or if we were threatening or not. They just saw us and pounced. Now, maybe we looked weak. They certainly did kill a lot of us, but they pretty much just came out and they attacked, and we got away, but they didn't retreat either. I mean, they had a Minotaur, but there was no, we killed a couple, and they didn't flee. I say while we're here at the tavern, how does everybody feel about hiring? We saw some cell swords in the corner. Does anybody feel like we should hire some retainers? I would put some
Not
gold
even a
toward that.
question.
I mean,
Not
as
even a
many as we
question,
can.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
If they make it out, then they would have been worth their weight, and if they fall in combat, well, we don't have to pay them anything.
Agreed. So, is everybody cool with us going ahead and doing that now? Getting some, hiring who we can?
Yeah, and I can chip in some coin too.
Okay, I've got 24 gold, and that's it. Actually, 23 gold and 8 silver.
I have
So-
35 gold on hand.
Oh, man. Big spender. Okay, so let's go over and talk to those guys. Who has the most charisma? It's not going to be me.
Not me.
I hope it's not me.
I believe that it would be me.
Okay.
I have a 15.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yep.
Wow.
Say what you could do.
Alright. So when we hire them for a percentage of treasure we find, correct?
I'm changing that.
Okay.
I'm going to use Gabriel Lux's rules because it takes place in the same area.
Mhm.
So, no one. If you've read the Gazetteer, they're kind of like people that you can hire, but they won't go in the underworld, and then there are crazy people like you who will go in the underworld, right? Of those, none will go without a modicum of pay, and it depends on their status, based on kind of chainmail. Are they lightfoot, heavyfoot? Like, what can they do? That determines their armor class and hit points and yada yada. So, it will depend, and you can look at these people, and you can see they are desperate. They have tattered chainmail, some do. They have portions of like lamellar armor. Some of it is ruined, some only covering portions of their body. It looks in disrepair. It looks as if they have not eaten well for some time, and you question whether they have any money at all. They look quite desperate. That is the combat effectiveness you're likely to get out of them as well. But a few gold pieces is a tremendous amount of money. Just to kind of cage what that's worth. So these are lightfoot. A standard wage is 3 gold pieces per adventure. However, if you pay them 3 gold and you go and you have a huge treasure hoard and make like 15,000 gold and don't pay them anything, they will, if not actively try to work against you and try to kill you, they will leave you. So that's kind of how it works.
Now, I think that sounds agreeable, and there were 4 of them, right? So
Yeah.
12 gold?
So, Sparrow, you approach the table. This tavern was probably converted from a warehouse. It is cold and chilly in here. They have placed in as many fireplaces and hearths as they can, and stone and added chimneys and vents. If that were not enough, it is choked with smoke and exotic drugs as well. It is sorted. And the wood is waterlogged and rotten. And they sit at a janky, wobbly table. And there are 3 of them that was talking to one. So it looks like obviously a group of 3, and they were negotiating something with one person. All of these people look malnourished, desperate, hungry, and with various sets of equipment from whatever days where things have not gone well for them. As you approach, they look up at you. And why do you have a charisma of 15? Are you articulate? Do you come across
Yeah, I would
as
say
noble? Or?
Sparrow definitely, I would say, especially after spending some time down in the caves, does not particularly come across as a noble, but perhaps is a bit more well-spoken than the average person.
Okay. This is a good sign for them. Wherever there is someone well-spoken and read, there is money. And there are 3 men, one of whom is middle-aged, and one very young woman. All with armor and weapons, mostly spears, and one person has a bow. They look up as you approach and they say, one of them at least says, "Oh, excuse me, miss. Excuse me. Would you happen to have need of a few old soldiers? You've seen their like. There are a lot of displaced and abandoned soldiers from the war that took place here not 3 months ago."
I'll kind of hold the gold in my hand without handing it over, just kind of like playing with it through my fingers. And I'll just say, well, it depends. How willing are you to go into some danger with us?
One of them pushes the young woman out of her chair, makes her stand up, and then motions for you to sit down. Please, take a seat, please. And they push you what libation they have, which is to say 1 dirty cup. And
I'll raise a hand and tell them, no need. And you there, it seems like you were also perhaps in need of some work. You know those caverns to the west? We are heading down in search of treasure. How would you say to accompany us for 3 gold pieces and a portion of what we gain?
is this addressed to all of them?
Yeah, I'll address this to all of them.
Okay. And here, roll 2d6.
All right. That will be a 6.
6. Okay. All right. Their base morale value in working for you is 8. I'm pretty sure with a 15 charisma, you can have 4 hirelings, and you don't have anyone charmed. That was midwit, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
So, they all the 3 men, they look at you in horror because they have heard of it, but they know that they need the money. You immediately recognize the look on the young woman's face. What? But I don't have a good. What would be the good word for it? Hunger, exaltation, the stars in her eyes. She wants.
Reverend?
She wants to go there. They'll tell you this. Absolutely, that's so, and it's for each if you do the standard price. 3 gold each. Absolutely, we'll guard your way. You'll be glad you hired us, miss. We're trained soldiers. You see, us 3, and it's the young woman, the middle-aged man, and the other man. We were in the same unit. See, we were from we're from Pyade. Marched with Lord Madarok's armies. Pressed into service, we were. Made landfall here and marched all the way south, and then all of a sudden we got no orders and they disbanded the army. But we did see combat. I fought, why, you might not believe me, but I slit the throat of a thing from the other world right off my boat. Kicked it off into the seas. It's true. And the other 2 have a hollow look as he describes this. The other man is silent.
Alright, I'll turn to the lady and say, you seem a bit excited to go on an adventure. I would advise you get that look out of your eyes. Those caverns run with blood through them.
Of course. We need the money.
Alright.
That's all.
And I'll give them each their 3 gold.
they will introduce themselves, and I can give you their info so that you can run them. The stranger's name is Alaris. Spelling doesn't matter. These people can't spell anyway. 2 hit points, armor class 12, d6 spear. The 3 that were in a unit together were Thyros, 5 hit points, armor class 12, d6 spear. Galtar, who's the middle-aged man and was the one talking, 11 hit points, armor class 12, d6 shortbow. And 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖈𝖐𝖊𝖗, 5 hit points, armor class 10, d4 dagger.
Alright. And I suppose I will lead them back to the rest of the group. So do we each want to take off 3 gold then? Each?
Sure.
That's good with
Depends
me.
if I've got 3 gold.
I'll cover you if you don't have it.
Much obliged, Squire. Much obliged.
Would
Oh,
Volnea...
I actually do.
Oh,
I actually do have 3 gold, or at least I did till I paid them.
Is Volnea a magic user?
No,
Okay.
clearly not.
Okay.
All
Is that
fighters.
Volnea is one of the soldiers, not the young woman, right?
She is a young woman and a soldier. She was pressed
Oh, okay.
into service under a Chaos Lord as a levy.
Would she be amenable to, if we can find one to buy, upgrading to a D6 spear?
Oh, yeah. You
If
can
we
easily
buy her
find
one.
a spear at book value if you want to buy one.
All right. Spear, I believe, is 1 gold.
Sounds good.
So I'll foot the bill for that, and I'll pay the 1 gold, and I'll get her a
Well,
D6 spear so that she can be better and also do 2nd rank if that should.
well, I wonder if it might be better to give the spear to the older one who had the most hit points. Because he has a bow, but we would perhaps want him in the front instead.
Perhaps it's not my place to be saying, but if we got the cash for it, we might as well upgrade as much of the gear as they can. It's gonna keep them alive another round longer, and thus us another round longer.
Yeah, I'll spend 1 more gold to give the middle-aged man a spear as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good call. He can keep his bow. He can have a bow and a spear.
I also want to note something else for you, Jahan. Each of these people starts for you at morale 8. So what happens every time something traumatic happens, and it's going to happen every time. It's not going to happen to you. It'll happen to them. I'll say make a morale check, and that's you rolling a 2d6 to keep the order of your troops together. If you roll above an 8, a 9 or above, they flee. And every single time you roll, their morale will drop.
I
So,
see.
yeah.
Is morale shared for all of them, or is it per person?
I'll just keep it for all of them, because that would,
Okay.
yeah, get to be, unless there's some sort of circumstance that, yeah.
Alright.
All right. Let's see. It is now, we ran a bit over. The evening, Einar the 16th, has ended. The sun rises the next day, and the weather is beautiful outside.
Let's hope it's a sign.
I suppose we will set off.
Yeah. So when did we do we have a time for when the rendezvous with the cultists is supposed to take place? Sparrow.
I believe they just told me the place to go and that it would be on this day. I imagine it wouldn't be difficult to find them.
All right. I say let's get our stuff, and let's go. I would say we should set out at probably about 8 a.m.
Sound good?
That'll give
Or
us
me-
enough time. Yeah, to And we know where we're going, so you know where the entrance is, Sparrow, right? That you can get us there.
You awaken the next day. The crowds are... It's crowded here. This place seems to get more populous by the week. It's almost as if it's all huddled together. No wall. The single road going north into the wastes. It, as I said, is nice outside. 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Surrounding the village on all sides except for the northern road is a dark forest with a thick, hoary canopy. Except to the northeast, where only a few miles away is the shore. Where do you go?
We follow Sparrow.
Yeah.
We'll stick Sparrow out in front because she knows the she knows the lay of the land, right? Like it's a southern entrance. I remember last time.
Well,
to get to the one we went to, we went north until we got to the edge of the forest, and then we kind of had to bear west a little bit, and that's how we got. But we don't want to go back to the Beastman entrance.
Well, I believe that's the same way we will have to end up going anyway, because I believe the secret entrance is in that region.
And what the instruction they gave you is basically when you get to the ruins. When you get to the ruins, approaching it from the south, you're going to want to find the small outbuilding surrounded by trees and somewhat hidden before the main building. As far as arriving at the ruins, that's up to you guys, but you want to follow the road to the north for several hours like last time?
Yep.
Yes.
There's no chance
We'll
of
go
getting
around the
lost on the
forest.
road. Whoops, I actually went the wrong way there. Okay, so you go about that far. And then you went out into the wastes, and then you see in the distance to the south, mountain range.
Right.
It is now about early afternoon.
And I believe we go south from the mountain range, towards the ruins.
Heading south on the edge of the mountain range, you have a thick forest to your left, more mountains stretching off to the south. The sea air begins to recede, and you have the lush, dead foliage that you can smell from the forest, between in this valley between these two mountains, you can clearly see the ruins of a city.
So as we approach and as we start getting closer into the valley and looking into the ruins, I want to make double sure that we're all being real careful. Of course, we will have warned our new retainers that of what kind of things are up here, the beast people. But I want to go real slow, and I want to be, even if it takes a little time, I think that we should be really watchful and be kind of just maximally aware of what's going on, making sure that we're looking under trees and up in trees, and making sure that we're looking ahead so that we don't get surprised and ambushed.
You can always assume that's the case. I'll always assume that you're saying, to everyone, hey, stop. What do we say? See something, say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, stop. Anybody who sees anything, there's no noise too small to report to the rest of the party, or even if something looks a little bit off, head on a swivel, basically.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we're looking eyes in the back of our head.
Go ahead, Nissa.
If there is any kind of raised land to the side of our path, I wouldn't mind going off a short distance from the group, just so I can maybe see ahead of our path a little bit, and just scout ahead that way.
Yeah, I would assume that you're probably doing that as you move. You have movement rate 12?
I do.
Okay, so remind me of that Well, it works actually. Yes, you were able to clamber up the rocky sides of this mountain, and probably it is the thieves that thus are able to see this, rather than ending up circumnavigating the mountain or somewhere else. You don't see any threats as far as you can tell. Like, for example, because it's a clear day, you don't see campfires or the signs of a fire or a group of people marching or anything like that. Do you all go to the ruins, or is that what you wanted to do, Zach or Hans? Sorry.
Yes, if everybody's good, then I say we go directly to the ruins. Sparrow doesn't have any last-minute reservations.
I don't believe there's any more information that is pertinent. I
Hans,
don't
Okay.
believe anything should change our minds here.
Hans, roll a d6, please.
D6. Alright, and... yeah, that is going to be a 3.
Actually, let's see here. Hans, as you approach the south side of the ruins with your group, you see the familiar stone walls crumbled. No second story or third story on a second, all of it having been destroyed long ago. And as you approach a big, great dead tree, gnarled and overhanging, you recognize this big tree, and there's a rock. Cadavers have been left out in the field ahead. You can see the bodies eaten with insects, bloated. Your friends. And immediately nearby, you see one of the beast people. It looks like a dog-like person with, but not like any you've seen. A thin, long, narrow snout, and slobbering, and large fangs, and yellow eyes, and big claws, and it is dragging, and it sees you all, and it's dragging. It's dragging a dead one of its companions, or of its kind, toward you all, and then snarls and like wildly gestures. What do you do?
I wonder if it's dragging the one that we had charmed by Midwick.
Does the gesture it makes mean anything to us?
Well, for those that saw these things last time, they weren't too keen on gesturing. They seemed to just like leap and try to, rip and tear and swing weapons toward vital arteries. But this thing is not leaping towards you. These are not, it's not waving high or something like that. But yeah, it's just gesturing wildly, and it's not coming closer to you. But it does take the body and it drags it across the ground, and then like throws it towards you a little bit, and then just like gestures. So I guess to answer your question, no, it has no human meaning.
It knows that we're outnumbered by quite a few. What do you all think? Should we maybe get a little payback, or should we tickle his toes for some information?
What information do you think you can gain from this beast?
Where the ambushes are set up, where the variables are, why we shouldn't skin it alive, amongst others.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, how do you expect to gain that information from it?
Like I said, a little bit grease, but If you're thinking we should just put this snout out of its misery, I think we probably should.
We don't want it reporting back to its kind.
No, we do
don't.
not.
It
Mr.
it
the Dungeon
gestures
Master.
wildly some more toward you all.
I wonder
Mr.
if it's
Dungeon
trying to
Master, I think-
bury. Do you think it's trying to bury? Are there any other beast people bodies that are apparent, like that have not been buried? Are there any other on the field?
They don't seem too keen on burying or honoring their dead, as their bloated, rotted corpses are left in a pile of the 3 you slain on the rocks about 50 yards ahead of you.
Can we see what killed this beast man? Like what?
Clearly,
When it has like claws,
Yeah, great
stab
question.
wounds.
clearly the claws of this other beast man did it. And this other beast man looks like also just what am I trying to say? Harried and wild, and like he hasn't eaten in days, and he looks kind of not well.
And this is definitely not the beast man that we charmed. The beast man of 𝕬𝖃𝖍𝖗𝖊𝖗. Would we? Because that one was a dog one as well.
I assume this one's different.
How would you know?
Let's try to whistle at it. See if
Yeah. Nissa puts her fingers in her mouth and whistles.
Yeah, because you
The
whistled,
sharp.
because you whistled last time.
Yeah, because we whistled last time.
It puts its ears back, and then like closes its mouth and pants and looks at you all. Closes its mouth.
This is the same one.
This is the same one.
Sorry about that, squat. Good to see you again.
Hans is going to throw it a trail ration.
It eats it grotesquely right in front of you, and then it lifts up its dead companion and offers it as a counter gift to eat.
Yeah, it's like my mum.
Well, let's
thanks,
see.
but we already had one today. You don't gotta. You can enjoy it.
Let's see if we can get it to follow us.
Perhaps we should leave it out here. I think without 𝕬𝖃𝖍𝖗𝖃, it's a little difficult for us to control it.
Yeah, it's probably not
Good
going to do
thinking.
anything. Yeah, that's actually a good call.
Perhaps it's better that it survives out here, and who knows, if we make it all out, maybe it could help us at some point in the future.
It gestures
there any
wildly, and
chance
then
that-
it takes its clawed finger and draws in the dirt a wide brim and a wizard hat and a pointy, ridiculous little beard, and then gestures wildly like toward it.
It wants 𝕬𝖃𝖃𝖍𝖃. All right, here's my suggestion. I say we try to get it to go back and stay put in one of these buildings. Maybe pick up a stick and draw a crude drawing of it in, like, sheltering in a ruined building. Basically, like, stick figure beast man in a house. And
It
then
seems it has some primitive intelligence more than we expected. I wonder if we draw like a sun and a moon and draw like a connection, would it understand the passage of time?
that's a good question.
I assume so. I mean, it's a slaughtering beast, but it's not that stupid, is it?
Okay.
It knows dark
I don't know if I can
versus.
draw.
Yeah.
I'll take a stick and next to its drawing, I suppose I'll draw like a sun and a moon and like try to make like a circular motion to show like, time changing. And I'll point 𝕬𝖃𝖍𝖃 toward the little and make like a little drawing of it and try to say like, he'll be coming back in some days.
Wow. That's a tough one. Use your charisma for this. Roll a 2d6 and yeah, I know you're
Alright.
15, so let me think it.
That would be a 7.
Okay, and you got a 15 charisma. Okay.
Yes.
That works, and or as far as you can tell, because he seems to immediately respond by drawing a line from the 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖈𝖐 drawing to the moon, and then past the moon, and then to the sun, and then and with that he reaches a claw into the skull of his dead cohort, and simply clamps down with his claw and drags him as if he's an inconveniencing piece of furniture over into this ruin.
Maybe
He's gonna
corpses
eat
is
him.
devil furniture, sorry.
Now, here's where you have kind of special knowledge. Sparrow, let me give you some hirelings first, just in case something happens. All right, so these, going towards this big tree here, I'm going to kind of pan around to some things. Straight ahead, Hans, you can see the big building. In fact, it's not hard to see that there are guards out front. So you staying hunkered down behind the stones and the massive, gnarled, dead tree nearby, you can see that building, and then using Sparrow's instructions, you're able to see a small stone outbuilding to the left, about 50 yards. That is where Sparrow was told to, that's where you got out, Sparrow, and that's where they told you to come in so that you could avoid the beastmen.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, that's the way we go. We just cautiously move towards it.
Okay.
Let's say a hail to the guards as we get there, so
You
that
wanna
they
do that?
don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, let's say a hail to the guards. We assume these are the people that we're coming to meet, so we don't want them to think that, we're trying to sneak up on them. So.
I see what you mean. I didn't explain that well. No, the main building is where you see guards. You don't see any guards in the small building.
Okay.
Yeah,
By
there were
guards, I
three
mean,
beastmen guards
beastmen,
at the three beastmen guards that we could see at the main entrance.
Okay, we absolutely do not want to say hail to those guys.
I thought
Take
you were-
everything I said back.
I thought you
I
were
think that's
like joking, like you're like, yeah, let's say hi.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. So over to the outbuilding.
Okay. In the outbuilding, let's see here. You see stairs, stone stairs going down. It is dark here. From the darkness, you hear two voices. They say something. Let me look up the word. They say 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖈𝖐𝖊𝖗. And Sparrow, the response you were giving is 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖈𝖐𝖊𝖗.
All right. Tenatos Teneniskos.
You hear them, their feet clatter down, and you see lights glimmering in the dark. It seems you will need your own light. Does anybody have a source of light?
Let me take a look, boss.
I had a lantern, but I gave it to.
𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖈𝖐𝖊𝖗, because he was.
Yeah.
I have some torches on hand.
All right. You want to light a torch?
Yes, absolutely.
I've got plenty of oil
Awesome.
with them, so throw ones.
Yeah, I've got plenty of oil, but I have no lantern because I gave it away.
Oh, I have a lantern if we need it after the torch.
It'd be a
Ross, do you keep track? Oh, sorry.
No, you sir. Sorry, I stumbled over myself sometimes. You first.
Thank you. Ross, do you keep track of how long the torch stays lit, or is that something I need to manage?
I will, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I will let you know when it goes out. Yes. Stone stairs. They're about 10 feet wide, 15 foot high in places. You can hear the two people in the dark. They hold the stone walls so that they seemingly can move in the dark. As you light a torch and you get closer, they look back at you, seemingly with irritation. Do you follow them, or what do you do?
Yes, we'll follow them.
Irritation, you say?
You hear a high-pitched whistle sound. Very brief, tinny. But these two robed guards, they have armor on and weapons. They continue on into the darkness until you get... suddenly you feel a vast wind, as if you're suddenly open into a greater open space than the skies above. And you see a dark chasm that seems to go on down forever, and a wooden bridge with intersecting and going to the right, and also going on past your torchlight into the darkness across the chasm. They stop you here.
What's the problem? I say in common.
One of them looks back and says, "Quiet, you fool," as you say that out loud. And then also let me take a look. He takes a whistle out. It emits a high-pitched noise in return. You hear one more high-pitched noise, and then you see something dropped, a light on a cavern wall. All of a sudden, huge, dark winged figures erupt from the ceilings high above, and they swoop down toward the thing, and he says, "Quickly, across now!" And they run across.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's follow.
Yep.
All right.
Here, I'll move the token. Oh, nope. And across the bridge, you see strangely immaculate flagstone. This is some structure that has been here for a very long time and has been well kept. There is a there are some guards here. They are very well equipped. Plate mail, broadswords, and spears and shields. There is a double door with two sconces on either side, and this guard continues in, goes up, and I'll describe what you see inside of here. Oh, wait. I should note something. The players will not know what I'm about to describe to you, but the characters will. Each of you heard this high-pitched whistle. Except for Nissa. You did not hear the whistle. That's all.
But I saw him take it out?
Mhm.
Okay.
You don't know if he said something into his hands or, like he was bowed down in front of you and seemed to, almost like he cupped his hands and did something. You're not sure what. But right after he did that, something fell off of a cliff nearby and you saw a light.
Okay.
Um,
Was there, did my companions give any kind of indication that their experience was different than mine?
I don't know
I
why
mean,
they,
was it
I don't know why they
right?
would.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyways, in this circular room, you see a chamber, and in the center is a 5-foot diameter basin set on 3 feet tall pillar of skulls of humans. At the north end of the room is a 10-foot diameter column of black drapery that hangs from the ceiling 20 feet over the floor. It is actually well made, fine fabric and well kept. The 2 sections of drapes are pulled back, and you can see a black statue. Or I'm sorry, no. There's a drape here. You do not know what's behind it, but you can tell there's a statue there. And inside are also 2 other figures. They are also in black robes. One of them you recognize from your meeting last time. He wears iconography like skulls and also peering eyes, shattering from something, as if an eye is exploding out of something. And he says, children, welcome back. I hope this will be your home now. Did you come to that wisdom, Sparrow? This is the, Sparrow, you would know this is Servant 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗𝖗. He is the high priest of Thanatos.
Okay. I'll give a polite little bow and say, High Priest of Pelos. Well, we still cannot commit to joining your ranks fully. We have seen what you stand for, and we agree with your goals. I see that you are against the beastmen, as are we, and so we hope that we can work together in that respect.
Alright. I'm going to roll the reaction roll for you. I'm doing it in the open here. Oof. I got a 4 plus your modifier. He looks disappointed and sad. Sparrow. I had such hope that you would see the truth. He looks toward the guards, and he says the saying again, Theresko Thanatos. And they go, Thanatos, Theresko. And they leave and close the door. And it's just you and them and the acolyte. The door. Make a door.
So, who's in the room right now?
All of you, the high priest and the acolyte.
Okay. Is this the acolyte that 𝕬𝖃𝖃𝖊𝖗 charmed, or the other one?
I don't, unfortunately, have that info, and I feel like that's too crucial to take a guess at. I would need him here to know that.
Because I believe he charmed one, right?
I think he charmed like one acolyte and then a bunch of followers, right?
Yeah, one acolyte and a bunch of followers. And as far as I know, there are only 2 acolytes.
Right, so it's possible one of them could be under the charm of 𝕬𝖃𝖃𝖊𝖗. I don't have him here, so I cannot say that you know that. Okay.
Okay.
But it's possible, so yeah. Anyways, he says, it would be profane if I allowed you to leave here without purification. For that reason, we must have at least a sacrifice. If one of your number would be interested in joining. And then he looks at the young woman and looks her in the eyes.
Don't be getting any funny ideas there.
In joining, you say, not as a blood sacrifice.
It would be so much better for someone to live out their sacrifice. Die, for I am dying. Death, so I must die. Would one of you wish to stay?
I
I'm gonna-
suppose I would
I'm
ask the
leaning-
hirelings.
To the closest individual and go, I don't like where this is heading. You want me to set someone for you?
The
Is-
acolyte. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just
Is
gonna
this
say,
room? Oh, sorry.
I'm not kidding either. I don't like this guy's suggestion, and I think we should start throwing hands.
I'll whisper, I agree.
What were you gonna say, Jenny? I'm sorry.
Is there other illumination in this room aside from the torch that I'm carrying?
Yes. Although it's not depicted here, there are sconces on either side with torches in them that are lit.
Okay.
The acolyte leans over and whispers something to the high priest, and then gets closer to the drape. The high priest lifts his hands and he says, "You disappoint me greatly that you lack this wisdom, but I see a path where you might gain it still. Since we have come to a disagreement, it is sweeter when someone can see the truth. Therefore, you either must sacrifice one of your fellows, or we could leave you to do a great deed for us. That would prove your worth and ours beneath the one eye of Thanatos."
What kind of deed?
Yeah, what kind of deed? Indeed.
He
Clever.
holds out his hands and open to you, and he says, "No one has been worthy to make it into the sacred vault of Thanatos. That is what you're here for, isn't it? Find things of value. I know that your sort crawls upon the surface, trying to find the truth of the old world, but for venal reasons. I believe that if you saw the truth of the old world, what is venal would be burned away. If you travel to the sacred vault and find a way in, you'll find either what you're looking for, but more likely, I think you'll find what I know you need to see."
Hans likes this plan.
Yeah, I mean, I think we took a bit of a twisty route to get there, but this is about what we were trying to negotiate anyway.
This is like best possible. This is best possible world right here. They're going to let us go. They're pointing us to treasure that, they're not willing to go get themselves.
I'm just wondering, what's on the path to that treasure they don't tell us about?
Well, and what are they worried about us finding out? What lengths would they go to keep us from reporting this to anyone else?
Well, they want
On the
us
way
to
back.
find. Oh, sorry. They want us to find their secrets. They want us to know what they know. They think we'll convert if we see it. If we get into the vault and see the thing that they believe is there, they think we'll convert willingly.
Oh, I see.
Which we might, depending on what it is. I mean,
think
it's
Maybe.
Yeah, they believe that the
But-
horrors within will guide us to their path.
But if we've seen it and we decide not to convert, then they become an obstacle on the way back out, right?
Well, perhaps not. I believe what the priestess is saying is that once we have faced death in that sense, we will be considered worthy whether we join or not.
Here's hoping. If not, I'll go a vial oil with his name on it, does.
I think they, regardless of their adversity to us, they have been nothing but honest to us thus far.
How about this? What if we say to them something to the effect of, we want to prove ourselves worthy to you. We seek treasure, you seek wisdom. Those goals can coexist. And, so that we can build trust between our two groups. First, let us work together and make war on the beast people.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so Hans will say that. To the high priest. So, like, look, we want to help you. We have no reason for you not to achieve your goals and to get your enlightenment. And maybe we will. Maybe when we see what you have to show us, maybe your faith will be borne out. But as a gesture of goodwill between our groups, let us make war on the beast people, at least on the surface. They have done grave damage to both of our factions, and let us work together to destroy them from the earth. And if there's a sacrifice to be made, let it be beast people let it be beastman blood that flows today.
He, you say that, and he folds his hands and looks down and shakes his head no, and he says, of course, we will help you with the beast people. Of course, we will liberate this ancient city of those foul animals. But you misunderstand. We are bound by ancient rites that you do not know. You cannot leave without providing a sacrifice worthy of Thanatos. And for that reason, you must either provide one of your number, or you must agree. Now, if you agree to seek our sacred temple and find a way inside, you may come and go, and we will protect your ways. None of us will harm you. You can go and seek rest and food, all of the banality, the foul temptations of life. We are weak after all. But should you surrender in your quest to find your way to the end of the sacred chamber, I will know. Or you must provide one of your number and leave here forevermore. Those are the two paths. We cannot fight the beastmen until we gain the blessing of Thanatos and our leader comes again. We are bound by ancient rites that you cannot understand.
Will us going to the end of the sacred chamber cause that to happen? Will that make your leader rise?
I believe so. When those who are worthy of the Dark One pass his trials, we believe that Macarius will come again.
Macarius?
That is our prophecy. By the way, you see the acolyte behind the high priest, and he's gently examining the drapery.
Okay. I'll say, I believe we will head to the shrine. But do you mind if we see perhaps some of this drapery? Do you have a portrait of your leader?
Your eyes do not have the enlightenment to see what is behind this yet.
Alright, well, can you... I believe when I was here previously, I was told that the shrine was to the east. Can you give us a clearer path towards it? A guide, perhaps, to take us to the edge?
There is no easy path to the sacred shrine. You will need to travel through this complex to the north. The beastmen and far worse things lay within. And then, when you make it to the north of this sunken city, then a long corridor will lead you to the east. It will not be an easy journey.
Alright, well,
Let's get going, lads. Let's get
seems
going.
like the only journey we can make.
Yeah.
I wonder, just to kind of pose a question, is this really what we want to do? I mean, this is a big complex. It's a whole underground city. I mean, this is a mega goal right here. If we sign up for this, if we don't, put all of our resources into doing this while we're down here, while we're crawling through the caverns, this guy's going to know, and we're going to have lots of problems. I don't think there's anybody we can leave. I don't think anybody would stay. But, I mean, this is kind of going to determine the rest of how this whole thing goes. I'm up for it. I just think we should think about it.
It's also Paul War. I'm thinking maybe we should go for the nuclear option first.
I've thought about it.
That's a retained problem. Even if it costs us a whole lot of blood and lives, might better deal with them now. But then, we might be outclassed by a high priest.
The high priest did say he was dying. Perhaps he is weakened in his current state.
Well, if he faces us, he'll be dying.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we can make a lot of noise in here. I mean, we could. The only problem is if we do that, then the guards are going to come in there. There's no way we're getting out of here.
Oh no.
Because
I definitely remember the two guys in Plague Mail.
Yeah, they would be a problem.
I think he's also he's a priest of death. Perhaps when the state of dying is when he's at his strongest.
That could be. Although if we wanted to really cause some havoc in here, all we would have to do is flask of oil over the drapes and a torch. I mean, that would speed and violence of action. If we wanted to make any kind of play in that vein, I think it would almost have to be flask out, throw it over the drapes, torch, and then start stabbing people. I think that would really be the only extreme surprise, and then just go for it. I think that would be I mean, I don't think we would realistically have much of a chance, even with all of us. I do have spikes, so one of us could spike the doors closed as we started to fight, and that might keep the plate mail people out, but then again, we might get consumed by the fire. I mean, it's risky, but...
Well, and this is on their home turf too, and I think they're probably pretty confident in the environment that they're working in. So what if we try to negotiate with the high priest? That's maybe he can offer us some other additional boon, to help set us on our way to make it worth our while.
Fine.
I think our option is to agree to the quest. But I agree that perhaps we can ask for a boon or one of their number to come with us and help guide us.
Alright,
I mean, I'm all for setting stuff on fire, but
let's try to do it their way first, and if things go wrong, then we get nasty.
If things goes wrong, they become an enemy regardless, so I agree.
right.
Oh, they're already an enemy, alright.
Well, and he said there's only a couple dozen of them. I mean,
Let's
if we
couple
take
dozen
him out,
more
we've,
than
we've
us.
went around the table a few times. Let's vote. All right, so let's see. Hans, fight or what should I say?
agree and ask for a boon.
Okay. Sparrow.
I agree, and I agree with asking for a boon or an escort.
Little build.
I say agree and go with an escort, and only get nasty if they get nasty.
Nissa.
Agree, and ask for a boon or an escort.
Okay, the second thing is simple enough. Sparrow, when you ask for that, the high priest, he says, if I were to offer you one of our sacred artifacts of power, you would be unworthy. It would consume you. However, I will bring you a guide. He will help you across the great chasm, but no further, for this must show your worthiness.
Alright, I'll give him a nod.
Okay. It's the same guy. So when you leave, you've got a guide here, and I'll describe some of the stuff as he leads you on your way. What you see. First, when you exit the circular chamber, you turn right down a long flagstone corridor. This comes to another massive, great chasm. You can't believe that the earth is so hollow beneath. It is as if there is an entire world beneath here. When he comes up here, he halts you again near these pillars. There is an altar here that overlooks the chasm. You can see blood, little bits of dried viscera on it. And he stops and he brings something out of his pocket and he does something into his hands again, Nissa. The rest of you hear a high-pitched whistle. You hear another whistle in the dark, and then he says, he turns to you and you all, and he says, "You must stay close with me. Only place your feet where I place them." And he immediately starts darting across here as dark shapes in the dark up above suddenly swoop towards something that's cast off of a cliff.
Right, yeah.
If you follow him in his footsteps, he comes up to a great stone bridge, talking like Khazad Doom, right? Like this is just a giant stone bridge over a never-ending chasm. And he goes up a couple of flagstones and then immediately goes to the right. And almost it's like he's walking on the edge, which is deeply uncomfortable. He does that for about 3 or 4 flagstones and then comes back to the left and then goes up. You see that should be closed. Let's see. No, actually, no, it's not. You see a room here with some more guards. They acknowledge one another, and then he continues on with you all down a corridor. And then finally you come to some stairs that lead further down. They go further down into the darkness a long ways, and then it opens into a massive chamber. I think, Sparrow, they showed you this, if I recall correctly. Either that or you heard of it. But what you see in here is the most grotesque thing you have ever seen in your life. The reek of decaying flesh permeates the air. There are here massive pillars. And you can see that there is piles of dead bodies. Many of them are skeletons, but many are rotted and decaying, covered in insects and flies. And flies fill this chamber all around you. It is the most disgusting and rotten thing you've ever seen, and you almost throw up. it is obvious that they harvest people and induct them into this cult, and that this is their fate. There are probably hundreds of people here, and I wonder. He goes up to another great chasm that is just beyond these monuments made of dead people. And the dead people are set like all of their feet are faced outwards, as if they're all on a funeral pyre that hasn't been lit.
That no good.
No. Okay. All right. And then he brings something out of his pocket again, Nissa. He does something. You hear another noise, and you hear a humming noise, and a bunch of these things come to life. And they all walk towards you. And then this happens. Let's see here. They create a big pile of bodies that forms a bridge of rotten flesh and skeletons that bind themselves with their partially rotted, torn limbs. And he makes a undead flesh bridge for you all to cross.
Oh, that is so brutal.
That's something you don't see every day.
No, you certainly do not.
How lovely.
Do you cross it? Actually, I should ask. I mean, I don't know how far you're going to follow this guy.
Yes.
I mean,
Choice.
we've come this far. It's not like we can go back.
Right?
All right. He, sure enough, that's sort of confirmed because he helps you cross, and then he goes back across, blows it, and then all these bodies just fall into the pit. Then he gets on his knees in a meditative stance at the edge of the chasm, as if he himself is dead, and seemingly waits for your return. Now, I'll describe what you see on the other side. This chamber is so large on the other side. There are these massive pillars. These pillars are not circled with bodies. The chamber is so large that it goes to the edge of your torchlight and beyond into the dark. I'll move you further up, though, so you can see some distinguishing features here. There is a huge antechamber that is empty here. In your torchlight, you can also see. Well, is that it actually? Let me see here. From where you are, it looks like that's all you can see, except to the north, beyond the two north pillars, are lots of little. What did I put there? There are lots of little circular holes in the ground that are concentric. They're the same size and shape, and they all form like they're all like in a line. And the wall in the northwest corner has gouges from the stone, and it looks like there are partial letters. You think in Woldish, but they form no word as it has been ruined or removed or defaced. That is all you can see in this large chamber where you are.
How large is the writing that's scrawled into the stone?
It's like it forms like three letters, like F, L, A, and then it stops.
Okay. But is it something that I could stick a piece of parchment up there and take a rubbing of it?
You walk across.
Or
This is something you see
Oh,
out in
okay.
the dim light past your torchlight.
Okay.
You're currently in the middle of this chamber after the flesh bridge. But you could go and examine it if you want.
I wouldn't walk across yet.
No,
That's just me.
I don't
no,
know
not
if
those
it's
holes.
Maybe it says flame. If maybe that's the FLA. Maybe it's a flame trap, like a flame jet.
Or spikes. You know,
Yeah.
I could slink on over like a block cut, and I could try pulling around out there, seeing if I could get anything to activate or not.
Yeah, take a look,
Yeah.
because I think we also still need to actually find a way out of this area. I imagine they wouldn't have sent us over the caverns if we can't keep going forward somehow.
Right.
I at least for myself, now that we're in this area and we're not being guided, especially seeing how the fact that he was having us follow directly in his footsteps is a clue, I think, to the kind of mindset of the traps in this area. There'll be things that you step on. Like, I definitely don't think we should step on the holes. I think there's probably going to be things around the holes, maybe that activate them, or that make sections of the floor come in, or arrows, or flames. For me, I want to kind of use my spear as a makeshift 10-foot pole, and I'm going to just put it out in front, and as I go over and investigate, if I should happen to get near any of these things, I'm going to tap the floor with the blade of the spear and see if there's any different sound, if it sounds hollow, or if that reveals anything. As I'm just in my general area, but I'm not going to get too close to the holes.
I got you. Except you have to with the spear. So to be clear, a spear will not give you the benefits of a 10-foot pole, which is 10 feet long. That is a full grid space. You can do it, but you will experience whatever happens within that grid because you'll be within 6 feet.
Does anybody have a 10-foot pole?
I have a 10-foot pole that I will give to you.
Okay, you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
Well, then I'd be willing to go and kind of scout in that area and get near and see if I can make out the letters and see if I can investigate what the actual holes are.
So you take the
10-foot pole.
You take the 10-foot pole and you tap it on the floor the way you're describing till you get closer to the holes. You find, I'm going to ping for what you guys can see. Okay. For the VTT, you see these holes that are right here. Okay. So now I'll describe to you, Hans, what you see. From the center of the chamber, as you start tapping forward, you see about 3 holes that form a kind of triangle between 2 pillars. And as you get closer and you tap the floor next to them, they are hollow, and then immediately something activates as you tap the floor. And something depresses, and all of a sudden these this happens. Let me see if I can portray this. Gonna do it. Yeah, I like that one too.
Nice effect.
It's like let's see. Turn this one around. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do it. It ignites in fire, like just a gout of fire, and it's incredibly uncomfortable. You are singed, but not harmed. Your 10-foot pole, on the other hand, is destroyed by this intense flame. These 3 holes between these 2 pillars seem to activate that fire, but you are unharmed.
Does the gout of flame reveal anything else about the room? Does it add our sphere of light for a moment?
That's a good point. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So, there are 3 holes here. You see no holes on the other side of the pillars. And there's the scrawl on the wall, and where the wall is defaced and some of the stones have been ruined. And then there are a bunch of holes on the far end. They are not near the wall.
Okay, and we've established which squares, at least close to us, light the flame traps on the pillars.
Yeah, and Hans, they are 3 holes directly in front of you and between the 2 pillars that you activated. There are no holes to the other sides of the pillars. There are holes on the far side of the room in a circular antechamber. That circular antechamber is probably 50 feet away from you, and it's probably a good 30 feet away from where the wall has been defaced.
I wonder if there's
that is to
something
say
beyond.
it's not near you, is what, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I wonder where the wall is defaced. I wonder if those markings originally signified that there was something there, and then whoever was able to actually get over there found something but couldn't get to it or something like that. Would it be worth it to try to jump the flame trap and see if there's something over there? Maybe a secret door.
Surprised if there was not something over there. But before
Yeah.
I go further, I need to use the washroom 1 sec.
It seems that, if I'm understanding this correctly, ahead of us there seem to be flame traps, but on the sides there aren't. So perhaps we can simply go around, being sure to, keep the 10-foot pole in hand and tap in the head. But perhaps we can just go around the columns.
Any 10-foot
10-foot
poles
pole
left?
died.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't. I only had the 1, so. Okay. Well, I guess, do we see any more holes? We didn't see any holes along the side, right, or the other side?
You did not see holes on the sides.
Okay. Would you all like to go left or right?
Do we see anything on the pillars? If we're going around, do we see anything if we look at person level?
That's
like
right.
Head high, chest high,
Yeah.
anything that shoots or springs out?
Yeah, it's obvious that the flame jets came out. So basically, the pillars are these 10, 12 foot wide in diameter, massive stone pillars. They were probably stacked here, so they almost look segmented. So between the stone segments, there's like a gap, and it looks like wherever those flame jets came from that gap, probably at about eye level. There is another segment, another 10 feet above that, and then no others. It looks like they're in 3 segments.
You think it's safe to go around? Like, say we go around to the left. You think it's safe to go around and get behind it that way?
I think it's hard to tell, but from what knowledge we have, I would say either the left or the right. I think we only seem to see the triggers on the jets in the front ahead of us.
Let's duck as we go. If we're going to do that, let's duck and stay low below the eye level jets just in case they come out in their horizontal.
Okay. All right. You said you go left?
I'm good with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. You go to the left and you get close and underneath the eye level of where the jet might be in the gap, and you walk and nothing happens. You get to the other side, and over here on the other side, I'll describe the 2 main features of the room. There's an area where the wall is defaced. It has scrawled on it the words FLA. Some of the stonework looks, what's the word I'm looking for? Degraded, like the quality of it, like either somebody had taken a hammer to it or something. And then there's also about 10 feet away from you this big circular antechamber in the room. It has no features except that it's circled with those holes.
Is the defaced wall this area ahead of us?
Yes.
I see. And it says FLE, and the rest is broken up.
That's right.
Well, if we think of it as a guide, perhaps putting a torch to the wall?
Yeah, I'll. Before I put my torch onto it, I just kind of like to take a closer look at it. Does it smell of oil or anything before I touch the flame to it?
Yeah, it does smell like carbon, like as if it has been scorched. But how to let me oh hey Tanner, let me make sure I get this right. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm gonna end up screwing this up. Let me make sure I get this right. I'm sorry, let me back up. No, so this wall here, where the writing is scrawled, is not scorched. Like literally where the letters are, is not scorched. It says FLA, and then like over here, to the right of that, where the wall is defaced, the letters end. These are big letters where it was scrawled, and it gets to A, and then it ends. And over here, closer to this hole, it smells like carbon. It smells like it's been scorched in the past, like burnt stone.
So flame can go toward it.
No, I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to not say, is to say there's no evidence of fire where the letters are.
Okay, cool.
But the wall is defaced there.
Is anybody up for tapping it? I don't mind doing it. I'll take.
I'm standing right up there too. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's. I'll take the blade of my spear, and I'll tap on the wall with it. I know I'm in the same grid square. That's okay. I'll take the blade, and kind of tap it with the haft of the spear. See if it makes different sounds. See if, as I run the spear across it, if it feels like there are any cracks or seams in the stone that may not be apparent just by visually looking at it, and see if it makes any kind of hollow sound, and see if it reveals any cracks in the stonework.
Okay. You go up to where the wall is defaced, and you take the haft of your spear and tap it. It is clearly hollow behind it. And you are able to see places where the stonework looks like it can be pushed aside.
Nice searching there.
Yeah, what do you think?
Very good.
Should we do it? That's what we're here for.
Might as well.
Do we think there's another entrance on the right side as well?
Could be.
I mean, the room is very symmetrical.
Well,
it may even just be a panel to turn off the flame traps. I mean, even if it's not like treasure, it might be something that allows us to proceed and move on and bypass into the antechamber without setting off the flame jets.
It'll make us avoidable much
We
more
won't know
likely.
till you press the stone.
Yep.
All right, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's do it. I'll see if I can maybe get off to the side a little bit. I doubt I can, but I'll see if I can get off to the side a little bit. And
Likewise, there's a little poke hole underneath us, so I'll feel for that and step just with that.
if I can, man, did I get a crowbar? Let's see.
I have one.
You got a
handed
crowbar?
over.
Awesome.
Yep, I handed over.
Awesome, thanks.
I look
Okay,
all
yeah.
prepared now.
Let's use the crowbar, and I'm gonna kind of like cringe my face down a little bit and close my eyes, but I'll hit it with the I'll see if I can pry the stonework to one side with the crowbar.
Okay. Sorry. Gotcha. Okay. What is the movement rate of the party? Is anyone movement rate? Oh, whoa. Who did that?
What just happened?
Did what?
Oh,
What?
Somebody's moving the token. Okay.
We didn't go that far.
Let me see. I'll fix that later. Okay. Let's see. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Is anyone movement rate 9? Because I don't think anybody's 6 because no one has plate mail, right? Was anybody movement rate 6? Anybody in plate?
No.
Okay.
Not me anyway.
Anybody movement rate 9?
My
Everybody.
movement rate's like 12.
Everybody is movement rate 12. Is that right?
Yeah, Hans is 12.
Okay. So everybody's
Sarah as well.
Gotcha. Okay. That is true of your hirelings. They're all in leather. Okay, so you take the crowbar and you pull it, and the stone gives way, and you see a extremely narrow, cramped stone brick passageway beyond. It goes.
Love the sound effect.
Yeah, it goes on into the dark, where it ends at a similarly defaced portion of wall. What do you all do?
I'm going to hand back the crowbar to Nissa because I have one.
Oh,
I just
excellent.
looked. You can keep it in your inventory. Well, should we explore the antechamber, or should we finish clearing this room, or should we go secret passage? I'm more inclined to do secret passage.
I'm inclined to do a secret passage also, just on the odd chance that it gives us more information about the antechamber.
Well, I think
Yep,
the thing is, we
agreed.
don't see any other way out of this room, right? And the antechamber does still seem to be surrounded by flames traps.
So this might be the safest one unless it's going to squash us like a pancake when we go in. But I'm at home in dark, cramped places, so I'd say let's go in one by one.
Right on.
Yeah,
Cool.
he knows it.
When you get to the end, there's a similarly defaced portion of wall. What do you do when you get there?
Same routine. Tap with the crowbar, and I assume it would be a little tougher to wield the spear in any kind of effective way. So, have the crowbar, tap, see if we can find a similar secret door, and if we do, then employ the same kind of way that we moved the stonework before.
Okay.
Just as an aside, that door that we passed through, it remains open after we all move through it.
Yes.
Splendid.
All right. Yeah, that works, and you're able to reveal an opening into a, once again, large flagstone passage that goes to your left and elbows sharply to the left into the dark, and then to your right beyond the edge of your torchlight.
Are there any holes that look like flame jets on the other side? Like if we're about to step out of this passage, are there any holes or trap-looking things on the floor or at eye level at the height of the old flame jets that we saw before?
You see an old abandoned sconce on the opposite wall. There is no torch. It is not lit. You see no markings on the wall on the other side, and there are no holes. It otherwise looks normal as you look into the flagstone hall.
I am cool to step out.
You step out, nothing happens.
On the ground, is there any trace that someone has passed through, or is the area covered in dust?
It is, that's a good question. Let me see. Interesting. That's so weird. Huh. Well. Yes. You see footprints that are inhuman, like big dog pads.
That would be where the basement going.
That's pretty unfortunate. Do they look recent?
Not particularly.
Is there any kind of like directionality to show which way they were going?
Yeah, they do not go to your left. And as far as you can tell, they didn't seem to be aware of the secret passage. They just kind of congregate to your right in the torchlight.
Okay. So they came from the left to the right. Okay.
No. There's no sign of them to your left.
Okay.
They're just you see some on the ground further to the right. It looks like they
So
didn't
they
come
didn't
this
go
far.
beyond.
That's
They
right.
didn't go beyond this point.
I
That's right.
see. Okay. Well then.
So do we think, as a group, do we go and do we investigate to the right where they came from and see if it might be a way out of here, or do we go to the left?
Well, the left is a corner right next to us. I think we should at least look around the corner before we decide.
Yeah, good with that. All right, let's go up and peer around that corner.
Okay. You peer around the corner and you see stairs that appear to go down into the darkness.
And Sparrow was told that the shrine was on this floor, right?
That's right.
Okay, so I suppose that means we have to go to the right.
Well, not necessarily. I don't think it would be likely that there would be too many beast people hanging out just like in the vicinity of the shrine. That's totally speculation on my part.
I would think they would avoid it also.
I would think that. I mean, it seems to me like they would probably try to stay away from it, especially, it brings to mind to me, do the cultists actually know where the shrine is?
Hans, roll a d6.
All right, and oh, that's going to be a 1.
Everything seems fine.
Does it though? Does it really?
Well, so here's kind of thing in my mind as well, is that compared like where we entered to where we entered last time, we know north of where we entered this time, there's an entrance, right? The main entrance. We've been heading generally northward, so I presume that this beast area at some point will link like up with the main entrance, the main ruins where we first came down.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe to the right is out of here. It might. I mean, it's a secret passage too, so that could have been the secret passage. Could have been, an ingress into a farther area from somewhere close to the surface. It might be that if we take a right, we end up at an exit.
Well,
At least we're
so
sure.
the initial room we had entered was like a big circle, and it was, way more north than we entered this time. And we still haven't seen any, we still haven't found that place, right? So we know that somewhere to the north of where we entered this time, there's a way out. That's like the main exit where that was guarded by gnolls as we came in this time as well.
Let's go to the right and go down and follow the footprints of the beast people and take a peek. Does anybody disagree with that? At least go scout it out.
I don't disagree with it, but could we maybe just advance just up to the top of the stairs, just so we can see if maybe there's like a difference in air quality? If we smell anything, feel any kind of like breeze or anything.
That's awesome.
If you're good with that.
I love that.
Go for it.
Yeah, you go up to the top of the stairs, and not only is there not a difference in air quality, but it is completely and perfectly stale, with no difference in circulation.
Okay. I was just curious if there would be a draft with the change in elevation. So
Yeah, there's no draft. It's almost
There's
as
at least
if
one
nothing
shot.
happens.
Well, that could even mean that there's not much down here. I mean, this might be
Right.
it might be a dead end that goes to a door, or it might be a small chamber that's down here. I mean, maybe we ought to just go down the stairs.
maybe.
I'm thinking to the left as well. That's what
Yeah.
𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖊𝖗 gave me.
Anybody got a?
Well, I just think that they told us the shrine was on the current floor, so I can't imagine that we would be going downstairs.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean,
In that case, let's keep going right for a bit. and then see where that leads us or not.
Okay,
Yeah.
right it is. Everybody cool with that, right?
Yep.
Right.
Alright, right it is. Let's do it.
This hallway is incredibly long. You travel until you get to another 90-degree intersection. It takes you a full 10 minutes.
Didn't the high priest say something about a long corridor that headed east?
Yeah, yes. But didn't he say it was it was a corridor that went left? Didn't he say that you turned left
Oh, maybe.
and then hit a long corridor? Although, of course, he wouldn't have necessarily thought that we were taking the secret door. So this could be. It could be that you turn left from another route to get to this corridor. This would
Hans,
fit the bill as a long corridor.
please roll a d6.
All right. And
Don't roll a 1.
a 5.
Nice.
Yes, that would be a 5.
Hans, at the edge of your torchlight, in the darkness, you hear a loud, a sliding. It sounds as if someone has taken a great big tarp, laid it across the floor, and is dragging it across the across the flagstone. It's scraping across the flagstone. Something soft is scraping, and it has a long shoring. It's something large, and it's coming towards you all and getting louder.
I'm gonna get behind the heavies, on the opposite side of where that thing's trudging. I'm gonna get out my daggers, I will.
Is that a torch sconce I see behind us? On the wall.
That is a sconce, yes.
Can I stick my torch in it and I'll do the same? I'll pull my daggers.
Nice.
Actually,
That's
I'll roll.
awesome. That's awesome.
Which direction is it coming from? This way or this way?
This way, in the dark.
In that case, I'm gonna take cover here.
Okay. Are you all gonna wait? Is that the plan? Just want to make sure I understand the plan. Okay.
It sounded like it was moving towards us, yes?
Yes.
Is it moving fast? Does it sound slow or fast?
Sounds slow.
The good thing is we have a lot of. How wide is this corridor?
It comes into view. What you see is it is almost as if all of a sudden the entire corridor is covered from one end to the other, from ceiling to floor and wall to wall, with a shimmering transparency. Floating within are the skeletons of beast peoples and humans and other things inside. And it is slowly scraping. You can hear sliding across the flagstone towards you all.
And it goes all the way up to the ceiling?
Nearly ceiling to ceiling and wall to wall almost.
All right. I pull my torch back out of the sconce then.
Well, if you want, we could throw some oil on it and burn it, perhaps.
Oh, absolutely. I'm getting
Yeah.
oil. Forget the knives.
Yeah, how wide is this, is the corridor that we're currently in right now? If we want to retreat and go back, how wide is it?
It is 10 feet wide and 15 feet high.
Could we take I think a flask can do a 5-foot area. Is that right? If you throw an oil flask.
What's your intention? What are you hoping to do?
What if we make a line of fire across the entire 10-foot of the corridor?
Good thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if we don't kill it, we can pelt it with more fire till it dies.
All right. So
Yeah.
you all move faster, so I'm going to assume that you basically kite it into a position to do that.
Okay.
Because
Yep.
Sure.
because it's just not as fast. But it seems like it's intent on coming towards you anyway. So you do that, and then here's what's going to happen next. So that's your declared action. Does anybody declare any spells?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's see here. What was I going to say next? Okay. Oh, if somebody could be my lore master and have Swords and Wizardry complete revised.
Already ready to go.
All right. You get 100 XP as well then. If you could look up the damage of an oil flask in Swords and Wizardry, I don't remember, and how its effects
Looking
work.
up right
I'm going to end
now.
up mixing it up with old school essentials again, so I need to make sure I don't do that.
All right, a flask of oil. Looking at missile weapons first.
While you do that,
Here's
roll a d6, Hans.
Okay.
Here we go. I found it. A pint of oil keeps a lantern either type burning for 4 hours. Oil is also highly flammable. A lit flask of oil can be thrown as a weapon and causes 1d4 points of damage on a successful hit, and 1 more point of damage per round for the next 2 rounds. Burning oil can also be used to create a hazard for pursuing monsters. Which means we can either avoid this thing, or we can ping this sucker down and see if there's any gems or something in it. Which I
Right.
think we should do.
So
I got a 5.
You got a 5. Great. So you won the initiative. Let me frame the situation and put the procedure in context here. You are much faster than this thing. This all comes down to your initiative rolls and how many oil flasks you have and how much damage it can endure. So the first question is, how much oil do you have?
I have on my person 12 flasks of oil.
That's
Nice.
Tanner,
I'm
that's
not even kidding you. You can check my character
that's
sheet.
silly.
I have
I'm a freaking thief with 6 charisma. I'm
And-
already
And
silly.
I have
you've-
5.
You've earned.
I have
this.
4.
You've earned whatever's about to
Alright.
happen. This is the moment for your 12 flasks.
Hey, by the way, I should mention why I was a criminal and up in the Thieves
Now,
Guild. So,
I don't know if this makes sense, but here's the let me pick this apart because we don't need to do. I don't do parts of procedures that don't matter. This is my thing, right? So here's the thing: you're faster. So if you win initiative, you have to choose: are you going to move or do missile fire? So long as you're able to move, you're able to stay ahead and then do missile fire before it can get to you because your combat speed is faster. That means if you win initiative, it cannot catch up and you're able to keep dropping these down. Therefore, Hans, can you please roll for initiative 2 more times?
I can. And
It's not possible. Does that make sense? It's not possible
yes.
unless you're able to lose initiative. It's not possible for it to get to you. Yeah. And it's very angry. I rolled for that. So
I got a 5 and a 6.
all right, I just have to get a 6 to get it. Nope. It failed all 3 times. So here's the next thing. Tanner, roll for your first oil flask.
roll. Sally's just a 1, Squire.
Now, the other thing is it would have to be other people, so, right, because it can't just be one person chucking a bunch at once.
That's fine.
Sure.
You're all free to have one.
Yeah, and you could spread them
Okay.
out later, right? So, Sparrow, if you could check yours.
Alright, so just roll 1d4 for
Yes.
damage.
Yeah.
Okay. That will be a 2 damage on mine.
Okay, 2 damage. All right, that's not a lot. Okay, so this is interesting. All right, we're working this out. Okay.
But it will take 4 over the next few rounds.
How many rounds again?
For the next 2 rounds, it'll take an additional point of fire damage, but because Sparrow
rounds.
threw in as well,
So 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that resolves up to the 3rd turn, and what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to move. So that's what's going to happen. So you can roll damage one more time.
Okay.
I'll throw a flask as well.
Yeah, and you can also throw for the previous one. Anybody that has flask can do this. I don't know if this makes sense, but it doesn't matter if we do the whole
Yeah.
procedure. Yeah, okay. George.
Right.
Can the hireling also fire their short bow as well during this time?
Yes, actually, that is correct. You could do that. Your
So-
target is ascending armor class 8.
Does that hireling have any modifier to the roll?
No.
Okay.
But they can fire twice, remember. Rate of fires twice.
Okay.
So you'll do this for 2 rounds, too. So fire 4 times.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, did anyone else get any damage on their... Hans, did you get any damage for your 2 rounds? For oil flasks?
Let's see. I threw 1 flask, and that was 2
Okay.
on a D4. And I got a 1 on a D4 for my second one. So
Okay.
I'm
that'll
not
be
doing well at all.
yes.
Alright. The hireling altered 4 shots, 1 missed, and 1 was a crit.
Wow.
All right.
Alright.
Easy and
Go
fine.
ahead and
Employ the month right there.
check all your damage, please.
Okay. So how much damage is it on crit in this? Is it just double dice?
No, it's just your regular damage, just automatically
Okay.
hits. So you roll
I
a
see.
d6 for each.
So, alright, so 3d6 from the hireling. That is a total of 13 damage.
Okay.
And then I have my 1 more oil flask that I'm throwing, which did 4 damage.
Great. Okay. So
Alright.
this is what y'all are able to do in 3 rounds. So you have to move for 1 round, but for 2 rounds you're able to fire, and within 2 rounds you're able to decimate this thing and burn it, and it finally just spills across the hall. It's clearly bubbling acid burning the stone, but within are skeletons and even shimmering objects.
Alright.
Once it's done bubbling and acidating, I think we should look through to see if there's anything valuable stuck in there. Yeah?
Yeah, make sure to wrap your hand tightly before reaching in.
I did say I was waiting till it dissipated, the acid orc.
Well, I
yes,
imagine
absolutely.
some residue might remain still, so it's better to be careful.
Okay. Good thinking.
Yeah, so I guess we'll reapproach it after it's done bubbling.
And then pick through it.
Let's see what you find. Whoops. Could someone please be the treasurer for this for tonight? Keep track of this. Anybody?
I can write it down. I can write it down.
All right, you get 100 XP for the night as well. I'll put that in the chat. All right, you find... there are people who have attempted to come by this thing before and failed, and they seem to have found other valuable things in here. You find 52 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
Nice.
You find 10 gold pieces. And you find a gem glimmering worth 140 gold pieces.
Lovely.
Yeah.
You find a ruby that some thief had gotten. Fat and large, multifaceted and many sides, worth 1,000 gold pieces.
The oil gold?
It seems that this thing has swallowed up some adventurers over time.
And now some adventurers have swallowed up him.
You also find a another. This is probably just a straight up diamond. Actually, this is. No. Actually, I've got this wrong. This is like an emerald. It is worth. Let me get the value. 150 gold pieces. And lastly, this thief. The last gem they have on them is a 360 gold piece diamond.
I think Christmas came a little early this year.
Man, you are
I
not
would
joking.
certainly say so.
It was worth fighting that thing.
You make your way back across the meat bridge, and they allow you to pass back through your lands on the same day safely to the Bloody Bowl Tavern with the riches that you have found. You have made it farther, they think, than people have made in many generations. And you have survived one more day with riches, but with secrets that people above ground do not know. And that will end the adventure tonight. Mythic Mountains RPG is a private online play club that focuses on folk RPGs. Folk RPGs are the games that belong to all of us. They're what actually happens at a table between friends. It's their voice that has the authority on what is fun and what works for them. Weekly, we upload our games to allow others to sit in with us. The channel isn't monetized. We don't own the artwork, music, software, or games shown in these actual plays, and you can find links to their authors in the description. Like, subscribe, and share if you wish, or don't. Just like games in person, you're welcome to pull up a chair, sit in, and watch some of our games. No performances, no fancy equipment, just regular people playing folk pencil and paper role-playing games and having a good time. We hope these games will prove a source of enjoyment to anyone just wanting to listen in, anyone looking for examples of how actual groups run and play folk RPGs, and most importantly, if you haven't found your group yet, you're welcome here at ours.